everyone, it's Alexa with the blog The Colby Farms, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making a dinner favorite around here. It is called lemon braised chicken. It's a pretty simple recipe with minor ingredients, simple steps, and just pop it in the oven and dinner is served. But let's get started. This chicken right here is one that we raised in our own backyard. We've been raising chickens for about 3 years now and very happy with our overall product. So we are going to take this chicken and we are going to chop it up into pieces and then go from there. Now that we have our chicken all cut up, we are going to start assembling the ingredients that we're going to put on the chicken, okay? So, first things first. We're gonna get some flour. I use einkorn flour. So I have a half cup right here. I'm gonna do 2 of these, okay? A bunch of salt. Usually do a couple pinches. And then I'm going to add about a pinch of pepper. Okay? This is going to be the coating that goes around the chicken. So I'm going to mix it all up. Now that we got our mixture all mixed up, we're going to grab our chicken. You can grab another plate if you want to. I always do. And then we're just going to coat the chicken in this flour. These are the tenderloins, these little pieces. They're on the back side of the chicken. They're alongside the breast component. A lot of people will just cut them in with the breast. Make sure you pay attention to that though. This is probably the most tender part of the chicken. Okay, so now that we have our chicken all coated in flour, I just turned on the stovetop and on a cast iron and it's heating up. You can use a cast iron, you can use a Dutch oven, whatever you choose. Next, we're going to prepare the other ingredients that are gonna go on top of the chicken. So, to get it ready, I'm gonna slice my lemon in half. I only had 1 lemon in the fridge, unfortunately. So I do have some organic lemon juice that I had in my stock pantry. And this will work perfectly. So if you don't have lemons and you just have lemon juice, go ahead and use it, okay? So now I'm going to squeeze the lemon juice out. I love this thing. I got this in it at a Goodwill. It is so much better than the modern day lemon juicer. So my grandma had one of these growing up. And yeah, it's just so much better. So, okay, I'm going to get all the juice I possibly can. Even when you think you've gotten all of the juice, go ahead and give it a good squeeze because it'll probably still have just a little bit more in it. You could be fancy and squeeze the lemon juice by hand. I like to get bang for my buck and get all of the juice out of the lemon. Okay, so now that we got our lemon juice, we're just going to put this off to the side. I'll probably add, maybe a couple teaspoons or whatnot. I pretty much eye it, but you can measure it out if you want to. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of extra lemon flavor. especially on chicken. Okay, so next I'm going to mince the garlic. I could be really fancy and get a garlic mincer, but mine broke a long time ago, and ever since then I've been using my mini food processor. It works just as well, if not better. The cleanup for me in a food processor is so much nicer than doing it in a garlic mincer. I don't know, maybe it's just me who always has all of the problems with the mincer, but if you get the skin stuck, I don't know. So if you don't have a mincer, you can use a food processor. Works just as well. I get this pre-peeled garlic from a Standard. It makes my cooking journey so much easier. But if not, make sure you peel your garlic before you put it in the food processor. It's gonna get loud. Okay, so we've got our garlic all minced and ready to go. Okay, perfect. So we've got all our ingredients. We coated the chicken with the flour and the salt. I know there was extra flour mixture left over, but don't throw it away. Throw it to the side. Keep it on hand because I'm gonna add a little bit more to the butter when we put it in the pan. You'll see in a little bit, okay? So now my cast iron's heating up. I put a little bit of tallow in my cast iron. Tallow is the oil, the fat of choice that I use in this kitchen. I use tallow, I use lard, and I use butter most of the time. And I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil on the chicken today. It's gonna give it some flavor, but you will see, okay? All right, so like I said, the pan has been heating up. Make sure when you are doing this recipe, you heat the pan up on a low medium heat. So I have an electric stove top, so I'm gonna put it on like a 3-4 aspect so it doesn't get too hot. Because when I put the chicken onto the pan, I don't want the oil splattering up and hitting me, okay? So it's really nice and hot now, so we're gonna put this chicken gently on. I also recommend using tongs. I don't know what everybody else calls them in their kitchen. And don't use your hands whenever you're dealing with the hot oil so it doesn't splash up and hit you or burn your fingers. I've had that happen to me way too many times, so just always be cautious when you're in the kitchen, okay? So we're gonna put all of these on. Just try to move them around to make enough room for the chicken. Okay, so now we're gonna let the chicken brown. You're gonna brown both sides, about 3 to 5 minutes each side. It's a little bit low on the heat, so I'm gonna turn it up real quick. Get it nice and cooking, okay? Okay, now that both sides are brown, we're going to transport the chicken to a plate. Okay, so now we're going to put the chicken onto the side. And we're just going to leave this all in there, okay? We're going to add a stick of butter. This is considered 2 sticks of butter. As everything mentioned before, I get this from a Standard, so I'm just going to cut this in half. Okay, so now I'm going to put the stick of butter in the pan, and I'm going to let it melt. I'm going to let it melt, okay? You can turn down your heat a little bit if you want. This stovetop is very powerful. It can get very hot very quickly. I'm going to let this melt. Okay, so our butter's melted, so we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to add my minced garlic. Now, when you put garlic in the pan, make sure that you're watching it and your heat is not too high. The minced garlic can burn very quickly, and then you miss out on that beautiful taste of garlic. So I'm going to put that in. And right here I have 2 to 3 tablespoons of sage. This is dried sage. You can add more, you can add less. I love sage, so I'm just about 3 tablespoons is good enough for me. I'm gonna mix this all around. Oh my goodness, that just smells so delicious. Okay, all right. Now, we're gonna get a strainer and we're gonna strain out the seeds of the lemon juice. Okay, put that in there. Put it off to the side. Mix it all up. So next I'm going to add a half cup of water. So you can either add water or you could add homemade bone broth. I have no bone broth made at home right now, so I'm just going to add water into it. And then we're just going to let this cook for a little bit, turn up the heat, mix it all around. Okay, my phone please. So next, we're going to put the chicken back into the pan and then we're going to cook it in our oven. My oven has been preheating. It is at 350 degrees. So I'm going to put the chicken back in. Okay, so now I'm going to bring some of that juice up into the spoon and put it over the chicken. Just find a little area that's open. Alright, like I said before, we were going to keep our flour off to the side. It still has some salt and pepper in it, so I'm just going to put a little bit more on the top. And then last but not least, I'm going to take this half of lemon and I'm going to zest it. I'm going to put the lemon zest all over the chicken. Just take your lemon that you cut up and use the zest from it. Alright, so now we're going to take this and we're going to place it in our oven. Alright, so our lemon chicken is done. What you could also do is you could slice up some lemons, put them on top before you put the chicken in the oven, and that way it gives it more of a lemon. Obviously the lemon is going to give it a little more flavor, but it's also going to give it that garnished, beautiful look. I didn't have a lot of lemons left over, I just had more of the lemon juice, so we worked with what we had. So perfect. Okay, so now we're going to get our plates ready to serve this lemon chicken. Tonight I made some rice in the Instant Pot to put the chicken over. You could do mashed potatoes, you could do a baked potato, whatever, it's fine. You could also make like a pasta, so you could make a little bit of the extra lemon garlic sauce with the sage, and you could put that over a plate of pasta. That would be delicious too. So. Alright, after that, you can sprinkle some more salt on top. And there you go, voila, you have lemon chicken. At least my version of how you do it. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember, this is my version of the recipe. You can make it however you want. I'm just showing you what I do in my kitchen every single day. Thank you so much for stopping by the farm, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!